It started the way these things always do, quietly, almost accidentally, buried under layers of mundane internet noise. A thread appeared on a subreddit dedicated to paranormal experiences, posted by a user in rural Finland. The post was brief, almost clinical in its detachment, as if the person writing it was struggling to keep emotion out of the words. They described waking up at 3:17 in the morning, not gradually, not from a dream, but instantly, like a switch being flipped inside their skull. The room was dark. The house was silent. But standing at the foot of the bed was a figure. Not a shadow, not a trick of light. A figure. Tall, unnaturally so, with limbs that seemed slightly too long in proportion to its torso, dressed in something dark and formless. Its head was tilted at an angle no human neck should be able to maintain comfortably. It did not move. It did not speak. It simply stood there. And the person in the bed could not move, could not scream, could not do anything except stare at the place where a face should have been, because there was no face. There was only a smooth, pale surface, slightly luminous, slightly wrong, like the inside of a broken eggshell soaked in cold light. The figure stood there for what felt like several minutes. And then it was gone. No movement. No transition. Gone the way a thought disappears when you try to hold it. The post received a few sympathetic comments, a few dismissive ones, and was largely forgotten within days. Except that 2 weeks later, someone in Osaka, Japan, posted almost the exact same description. Same time, same tilted head, same impossible stillness, same absence of a face. The post was in Japanese, but someone translated it, linked it to the finished post, and suddenly people were paying attention. Then came a post from a woman in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Then a teenager in Lagos, Nigeria. Then a retired schoolteacher in Manchester, England. Then a construction worker in rural Montana, United States. Then a university student in Seoul, South Korea. Over the course of 8 months, more than 400 independent posts appeared across 17 different subreddits in 12 different countries, all describing the same entity with a consistency so precise, so specific, that coincidence became statistically impossible. These were not people who had read each other's posts. Many of them posted before the compilations were made. Many had never visited these subreddits before and never did again. Some of them deleted their accounts. Some stopped responding to comments entirely. One of them, a 34-year-old IT consultant from Warsaw, Poland, posted a description of the figure and then 3 days later posted a final message. It came back. It was closer this time. I don't think it wants to be described. His account went silent after that. Someone who knew him in real life later commented that he had moved out of his apartment abruptly and was, as far as anyone knew, fine, but had refused to speak about what he'd seen. Now the details that emerged from cross-referencing these 400 posts are what make this story deeply unsettling. Because the specifics go far beyond the simple idea of a tall, dark figure with no face. Those broad strokes could be explained away. Cultural contamination, sleep paralysis, shared mythology, the human brain producing similar hallucinations under similar conditions of stress and sleep disruption. But the details go further. Across all 400 posts in 12 countries, among people who had never communicated with each other, the same elements appear with striking consistency. The figure is always encountered between 3:00 and 3:30 in the morning. The person seeing it is always lying down, always awake, always certain they are not dreaming. The figure's head is always tilted to the right. not to the left, to the right. The hands, when visible, are always held slightly away from the body, palms facing inward, fingers slightly curled, as if the figure is in the middle of a gesture that never completes itself. The figure never enters through a door or a window. It is simply there, present, without having arrived. The feeling it produces is not described as fear, not at first. The first feeling, according to almost every account, is recognition. A deep, unsettling familiarity, as if this is something you have always known existed and have spent your entire life trying not to think about. And then after that recognition comes the fear. A slow, total fear that does not produce screaming or movement because it is too complete for those reactions. It fills the body the way cold water fills a room. And then there is the smell. This is the detail that disturbs people the most. Because smell is almost never part of sleep paralysis. It almost never appears in ghost stories. And yet here, across 12 countries, across hundreds of unconnected accounts, the same smell is described again and again. Cold, mineral, like wet stone, like a deep cave, like the inside of a well, like rain on old concrete, like something underground that has never been touched by sunlight. Several people describe it as the smell of a place they had once been as a child, something they had completely forgotten until that moment. When the figure appeared, the smell came with it. And suddenly they remembered something they could not fully identify, a place, a moment, something just at the edge of memory that slipped away the harder they tried to hold it. The figure in every account does not stay longer than a few minutes. It simply ceases to be present. And every single person reported the same final detail before it disappeared. The tilted head for just a moment straightened. Level, still, as if for one brief instant the figure was looking at them directly. Fully, and then it was gone. What is this thing? Nobody knows. The accounts have been studied by amateur researchers, by a few academics who refused to attach their names, by folklorists, sleep researchers, and at least one psychiatrist who initially suggested mass cultural contamination, before acknowledging that many of the earliest reports appeared before any connection between them was possible. The most unsettling theory is not that this is a hallucination, or a demon, or something supernatural. The most unsettling theory is simpler. That it has always been there. That it has been standing at the foot of beds since humans first began sleeping in enclosed spaces. That it is still there now. Every night, in thousands of rooms. And that most people simply do not wake up while it is present. And the ones who do, the hundreds who wrote about it, and the many more who never did, were not chosen. They were not special. They simply opened their eyes at the wrong moment. They saw something that had always been there. And it saw them seeing it. And now they cannot unknow that it is real.